Hi everyone, it's Matt. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Tannery Mall, located in Newmarket, Ontario. As suggested in the name, the mall was originally a building of the Davis Tannery, a long-established business which was once the biggest leather producer in the British Empire. The Davis family relocated their business to Newmarket back in 1904, and the building was put into operation the following year. After many years of success, the business eventually began going downhill in the late 50s. In 1962, the production of leather was completely halted and the building mostly remained vacant. That is until the opening of a $6 million shopping mall project. In 1987, the Tannery Mall opened its doors with a dramatic helicopter fly-in by actress Brooke Shields, welcoming guests to a mall that was 4 stories tall, filled with 85 stores, and an array of gorgeous architecture everywhere you looked. Now, in 2026, the mall is still filled with this beautiful architecture and grandness, but very few businesses remain in operation. None of them, I noticed, were even stores. The only reason the parking lot outside is full is because the Newmarket GO transit station is attached on the side. And even that factor considered, it seems the very low foot traffic inside is simply for people to get from one place to another, with the mall just being a forgotten corridor in between. There's so many things about this mall that I just really loved. It didn't feel like just any old dead mall. There's something about this place that was quite special, for many factors. The architecture, just how grand it is. I mean, if you look up, you get a bit of vertigo, or you're on one of the top floors, you get a bit of vertigo looking down. Look at that grand fountain. Imagine that back in the day. And then you see all this architecture. Look to the left here. It almost looks like a castle in places too. And you'll see that in other places and later in the video too. It almost has the feel of some sort of grand castle. It's a really unique mall that way. And there was very, very few people walking through it. In this shot, you can see just how high up we are, and then right there to the right, you can see that magnificent fountain again. So just imagine water streaming right from the top all the way down to the bottom floor. Would have been a real spectacle, and then you can imagine how loud it would be. Meanwhile, you contrast the place to now, which didn't even have music playing in it, just a few distant voices of strangers echoing throughout the mall, and that was it. It's not uncommon to see a lot of fake plants in malls, but it's not always that common to see a lot of fake trees, especially ones to the scale of these ones. And there's just something about this row of trees that I thought was very comforting. I think just the way that they cast a bit of a shadow over the light above, and a mix of natural light and artificial light. There's just something about that that really struck with me. I don't know. I think I just really love fake plants in malls. I don't know why. This mall has a really nice way of utilizing natural light, and I think it's really prominent in this area, as you can see that sunlight coming down on that mural on the wall. And if you get to this mall at just the right time of the day, I think it was about noon at this time, a little bit before, you can see that nice little spectacle, and you can also see this very strange individual coming down the escalator alone. I mean, why is he here? It's an empty mall. Maybe he didn't get the memo? I don't know. Another thing I'll give credit to this mall is, it is very clean. I mean, everywhere you go, it's just very, very clean. And there could be a couple reasons for that. One, you could say the custodians are doing a very good job keeping the place nice and spotless, which I think they are. But two, and I'm gonna go out on a limb on this one, but I just don't think there's enough foot traffic walking through here to make it dirty. But what do I know? Oh, and I checked out the washroom earlier too downstairs, to which I did not get a shot of that because I don't really like pulling out my camera in washrooms for obvious reasons. But I can tell you it was very clean too. So, big respect to that. It's always nice to see. And once again, there is another shot of this stunning fountain, which I really just can't get enough of. It's a real shame that it's actually shut off, because can you imagine what that looked like? Oh my goodness. We are now reaching the point in the video where it is time to say goodbye to the Tannery Mall, and that means it's also time to say goodbye to you, the viewer, to which I want to thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we will come to a close with this shot of this lady walking right out of the mall. How fitting.